You've always believed that to have power you need to fight, argue, and prove your point. But Buddhist monks have taught for 2,500 years that true power comes from silence. When you simply walk away without explanations, without drama, without trying to convince anyone of anything, something extraordinary happens. People start questioning their own actions and you gain a power that no argument could ever give you. It's the Zen paradox of power. The less you force, the more influence you have. The less you explain, the more people pay attention to what you do. Subscribe to the channel. Leave your like and comment from which part of the world you're watching, because now I'm going to tell you everything. What if the strongest move in a heated moment is to stop talking and step out? Most of us were taught to prove our point, to keep talking until the other person gives in, to win the room with a fast reply. We carry this belief into meetings, family talks, and public threads. We treat words as our main tool, and we treat speed as a mark of skill. Yet there is another way to shape outcomes that does not rely on volume or sharp lines. It is quiet, it is simple, it is repeatable. You pause, you leave, you return only when the ground supports clear thinking and real work. This is not a stunt. It is a way to manage your attention, your time, and your access, so they send a clear message without a single raised voice. A calm exit changes the channel of power. When you stay in a live fight, you feed a loop that often has nothing to do with the result you want. In that loop, people speak to be seen, not to learn. They defend a position, not to solve a problem. By stepping out at the right moment, you stop feeding that loop. You turn your time into a signal. You show that your attention is available under certain terms. You let the room know that heat does not earn more of you. Structure does. That single move, done well and done without drama, can move a group toward facts and toward plans faster than a long speech. A calm exit is not surrender. It is a choice about when and how you engage. It protects your focus while others are not ready to use it well. It protects your energy so you can spend it where it counts. It also sets a quiet boundary. Access to you has a cost and a form. If someone meets basic standards, they get time with you. If they do not, they get a pause and a path to return. You do not need to shame anyone. You do not need to raise your voice. You do not need to label the other side. You only need to show through your behavior that you follow a steady rule. This approach builds influence over time because it is grounded in clear signals. People pay attention to where you show up, how long you stay, and what you do next. They also notice what you ignore. If you remain in every heated exchange, you teach others that heat is the way to keep you present. If you leave calmly and return with simple terms and a clear time, you teach that preparation is the way to gain your attention. Your time, your access, and your priorities speak for you. They are quiet, but they are firm. They set a frame for how others interact with you. They also give you a stable way to handle conflict without burning out. Think of a typical meeting that starts to tilt toward a fight. Voices rise, people repeat the same lines. Someone asks a pointed question that does not help the decision at hand. You can try to answer faster and louder. You can try to correct every misstep, or you can use one short line that sets direction and a clock. You can say, "I am pausing here and will send options by 3 p.m. You then gather your notes and step out. You do not add extra words. You do not add a warning. You do not add a lesson. You just move the work to a better channel at a better pace. By doing this, you redirect the energy from live heat to a written plan with a time-bound next step. Some people hear exit and think of rudeness. They imagine slamming a door, walking out without a word, or ignoring the other person. That is not what a calm exit is. A calm exit is polite and clear. It is one sentence long. It names the next action and the time. It creates a bridge back to the topic. It also lowers risk for everyone. No one is cornered. No one has to defend a public shift in view. You are not going silent. You are not withholding in bad faith. You are saying in plain words that the current path is not working and you are moving to a path that is more likely to work. A key idea here is that behavior is policy. A policy is a rule you apply every time, not just when it is easy. You do not need to announce a policy with a grand message. You show it by doing it. If your rule is that you engage when there is an agenda, then you ask for an agenda before you step into a meeting. If your rule is that you answer requests that include facts and a decision need, then you ask for those two items and you wait for them before you invest deep time. If your rule is that heated talk pauses and resumes in writing, then you say so in one line and you make the shift. Over days and weeks, people see the pattern and they adapt. They prepare. They bring what you ask for. They keep topics tight. That shift happens because you made your attention conditional on simple, fair standards. This is not about moral labels. You do not need to tell someone they are wrong, childish, or toxic. Labels spark more heat. They close ears. They make later work harder. You can keep words neutral and still set a firm line. You can say, "This has become unproductive. I will continue once we have the cost data." You can say, "I am moving this to email. I will send a draft summary by the end of day." You can say, "Please send an agenda by tomorrow morning and I will confirm a time." These lines are calm. They are clear. They do not judge the person. They describe the next step. They also clarify that your time has terms. Attention is a resource. It is limited. It feeds what you place it on. When you spend it inside loops that go nowhere, you drain it. When you place it on structured work, you compound it. A calm exit is a way to govern that resource. It is a way to keep your day from being hijacked by noise. It is also a way to protect your judgment so you can use it in moments that matter. You will notice this most on your calendar. Short, calm exits create space. That space becomes deep work, rest, or planning. Over time, the quality of your output rises. Others notice that rise. They come to you with the right inputs because they want that quality. Some worry that leaving sends a sign of weakness. That worry comes from a picture of power that is all about fighting and winning in public. But real influence often looks different. Real influence shows up in the way people prepare when you are on the invite. It shows up in the way they follow your rules because your rules create good results. It shows up in how your team uses time. It shows up in the steady quality of your decisions. You do not need to win each exchange in the moment if you are shaping how the whole process runs. A calm exit is one tool for that. It is small and quiet, yet it anchors a larger pattern. You reward preparation, evidence, and clear next steps, not heat. To make this work, your signals must be steady. The first time you pause and leave, some people may test you. They may speak louder as you stand. They may toss a question at your back. They may send rapid messages to pull you back into the moment. If you respond, you teach that last-minute hooks work on you. If you do not respond and you meet your own return time with a clean next step, you teach that your line is real. Over a few rounds, most people adjust. They learn that the fastest way to engage you is to meet the simple terms you set. This is how a calm exit becomes a shared norm rather than a fight trigger. It helps to define your aim before you use this move. Ask yourself what you are trying to produce. Are you trying to make a choice? Are you trying to set a plan? Are you trying to gather facts? Your exit and your return should point to that aim. If the aim is a decision, your return might be a short note with two options, clear pros and cons, and a request for a choice by a time. If the aim is facts, your return might be a list of what is still missing and who will gather it by when. You are not leaving to avoid work. You are leaving to protect work from a mode that hurts it. You are shifting the setting so the aim can be met. A calm exit also reduces the risk of public performance taking over. When many eyes watch, people tend to harden their stance. They worry about how they look. They try to hold rank. In that space, updates become rare. Change looks costly. The room can freeze. Stepping out lowers that pressure. It opens a path for private thought and for written updates. Without a live audience, people can change their mind without fear of losing face. This is not a theory about anyone's character. It is a simple observation about how groups behave. Removing the stage helps the work breathe again. You might wonder how to keep this from feeling abrupt. The key is the one-sentence bridge. It is short and clear. It includes a time. It names your next step. It does not accuse. It does not explain your feelings in depth. It does not revisit the past. It gives enough for the other side to know that you are still engaged and that there is a plan. For example, I am pausing here and will reconnect after lunch, or I will write a summary and send it by late afternoon. These lines are easy to remember. They are easy to repeat. They build trust because you do what you say. Over time, this way of acting shapes how people approach you. They start to send agendas. They start to include the decision need at the top of a message. They start to bring data. They start to propose a time cap. They do this not because you lectured them, but because your behavior made it the path to getting your help. Your access became a reward for preparation. Your attention became a resource that flows to structure. The shift can be quiet, but the effects are visible in better inputs and in smoother days. There are times when you cannot leave the room. You might be with a client. You might be in a strict hierarchy. You might be at a family table. Even here, you can apply the same idea in softer form. You can ask for a short break. You can say you will do a quick check on the numbers and return with an email. You can ask to reconvene with an agenda. You can set a time cap and stick to it. These are still exits. They pause the loop. They shift the work to a calmer channel. They keep respect and clarity intact. A calm exit also clarifies what you do not reward. You do not reward surprise topics. You do not reward last-minute demands without facts. You do not reward personal attacks. You do not reward drama. You do reward clear inputs, honest questions, and prepared choices. You do reward time set aside for deep work. You do reward deadlines that match the weight of the task. You do reward follow-through. You do this by where you place your time, not by long speeches about values. Your calendar becomes your statement. You might ask, does this slow things down? In the moment, yes, because you are stopping a live exchange. In the larger arc, it speeds things up because you avoid loops that go on and on. You move to a channel that supports accuracy. You reduce rework. You reduce misquotes. You reduce the need to clean up later. The gain shows up in fewer meetings that spin, fewer messages that flare, and more output that holds up. This is not about being rigid. You still make room for real urgency. You simply ask that urgency be defined and supported with facts. If you try this, expect a learning curve. You are building a new habit. You are also teaching others a new way to reach you. Some days will be messy. You might leave too early and need to apologize. You might leave too late and feel drained. Adjust with small steps. Keep the course steady. One sentence, a time, a next step, and a clean exit without extra words. The steadier you are, the faster others learn how to work with you. It is fair to ask why such a small move can have such wide effects. Part of the answer sits in your own body. When heat rises, your body treats it as a threat. Your heart speeds up. Your breath gets shallow. Your mind narrows. Complex thought becomes harder. Nuance fades. In that state, more words rarely help. A pause helps. It lets your body settle. It gives space for better judgment to return. It gives the other side the same chance. A calm exit is not only a social move, it is also a timing move that respects what a human body can and cannot do under stress. This is the core of rethinking influence. You do not need to win the room with fast talk. You can shape the room by where you place your time. You can show, through a calm exit and a clear return, that you value structure over heat. You can make your attention a signal that guides others to prepare and to work cleanly. When you act this way, your days get quieter, your choices get clearer, your influence grows without the noise. And when the next heated moment arrives, you will know that a pause is not a retreat. It is a tool that protects judgment and points the work back to solid ground. Have you noticed how your mind feels smaller when a talk turns hot? In the last chapter, we looked at a quiet exit as a simple way to shape a heated moment. That move works for a practical reason that lives in your body. When pressure rises, your body treats it like a threat. Your heart speeds up, your breath gets short, your muscles get tight, your field of attention narrows. At the same time, the part of your mind that handles complex thought starts to work less well. You can still talk. You can still defend a view. But the fine detail of judgment gets harder to reach. This is not a flaw in you. It is a normal human response. Knowing this lets you plan your timing. It makes a pause feel less like a social risk and more like sound use of your biology. Stress brings a set of changes that are useful for danger but not useful for careful decisions. Blood flow shifts toward large muscles to prepare you to act. Breathing speeds up to bring in more oxygen. The heartbeat climbs to move blood faster. These shifts make it easier to deliver fast energy. They make it harder to do slow, precise thinking. You do not need to memorize the science to use it well. One simple marker can guide you. Research on conflict shows that when your pulse climbs past about 100 beats per minute, your mind tends to drop nuance. You move toward either yes or no. You hold fixed ground. You listen less. You recall less. Your rate of mistake rises. This shows up even in adults who are smart and trained. It is not a comment on your skill. It is a comment on what the human body does under load. The psychologist John Gottman spent years watching pairs in conflict. He used the word flooding for a state where the body is so stirred that clear thinking falls fast. Flooding feels like a rush in the body. It feels like words speeding up in your mouth. It feels like a need to finish the other person's sentence. It feels like heat in your face and your neck. When flooding hits, your brain is not in a state to process new facts well. Tone grows sharp. Volume creeps up. You reach for short, simple lines. You say the same thing again because your mind keeps sliding off the detail. The link between intent and effect breaks. You try to make a point and land somewhere else. This is why long talks inside a flood rarely help. The body will not let the mind do its best work until the pulse calms. You can notice flooding in yourself if you know what to watch. Your breath is a clear sign. If you feel your breath high in your chest, short and fast, you are on the edge. Your hands may get cold or shaky. Your vision may feel tight. Your jaw may clench. Your urge to correct may grow strong. If you try to recall a number you know well and it slips away, that is another sign. You can also check your pulse with your fingers on your wrist or your neck. Count the beats for a short span and do the math in your head or use a watch. If you are near or above 100 beats per minute while standing still, you are not in a good place for complex talk. You do not need a device to respect this limit. You can feel it in your body. You can hear it in your voice. You can notice flooding in others without making it personal. People start to repeat the same claim. Sentences shorten, pauses shrink, the voice lifts, the face tightens, the eyes move quickly. The person stops asking real questions. They ask only questions that lead back to their point. They may mishear you and answer a different sentence than the one you said. None of this means they have bad intent. It means their body is driving and their mind is holding on. Your best move is not to add more words. Your best move is to change timing or channel so that bodies can settle and minds can return. There is a common fear that pausing in a heated moment means you are weak or you are giving up. That fear comes from the habit of treating live debate as the only test that counts. But the body does not grade you by social rules. It follows its own rules. If your pulse is over 100 beats per minute and your breath is short, adding more words will not improve your argument. You will likely miss details. You will likely misread tone. You will likely feel regret later. A pause protects you from that outcome. It also protects the other side. It gives everyone a fair shot at clarity. You may ask how long it takes for a stirred body to settle. There is no exact time for every person, but it is often at least 15 to 20 minutes for the heart rate to come back down after a sharp spike. It can take longer if you keep replaying the argument in your head because your body cannot tell the difference between a fresh attack and a vivid replay. During a pause, do simple things that help your body reset. Walk, drink water, breathe slow and deep. Look at a stable point in the room. Do not scroll messages about the conflict. Do not reread lines that provoke you. Let your brain switch tasks. When your pulse feels slower and your breath is easier, complex thinking returns. That is when you are ready for the next step, whether it is a written note or a short, structured talk. Some people hear the term stress hormone and worry it is too technical. The main ones you will hear about are adrenaline and cortisol. You do not need to know their chemistry. You only need to know that under stress, your body releases chemicals that make you ready to act fast. They raise energy and reduce pain for a short time. They also make it harder to think with fine detail. When the stressor is gone, these chemicals fade. Your system comes back to baseline. A pause allows that process to happen. It is not about suppressing emotion. It is about giving your body what it needs to let your mind work again. You can build a small habit that respects this. When you feel the signs of flooding, tell the other person one clear sentence with a time. Say that you are pausing to protect the talk and that you will return at a set hour with the next step. Keep it short. Use calm words, then leave the space. This is not silent treatment. This is a timed break with a plan. It is also a check on yourself. If you return when you said you would, you teach your body that a pause is safe. You show the other side that you are still engaged. You also raise the chance that the next round will be about facts and choices rather than about tone and rank. There are limits to what your body can do in one day. Sleep, food, and movement affect your threshold for flooding. If you slept poorly, had no food, or sat still for long hours, your heart may climb faster in a dispute. Caffeine can add to that climb. Loud rooms and bright screens can add to it as well. You cannot control every factor, but you can prepare for hard talks by doing small things. Eat something simple, drink water, take a short walk before the meeting. Set the room to be quiet if you can. Little changes lower the load on your body, which lowers the chance of flooding. This is not about perfection. It is about giving yourself a fair chance. Listening is one of the first skills to drop when flooding starts. You think you are hearing the other person, but your brain is filtering for signs of threat. You miss qualifiers. You miss context. You latch on to one word. This is why misquotes spike in heated moments. Your memory also becomes less reliable. You think you remember what was said, then later find that you filled in gaps with guesses. A pause that moves the talk to writing helps with this. Writing slows pace. It leaves a record. It gives your brain a stable object to work with. It lets you check facts. It lets the other side do the same. This is not a cure for all conflict, but it reduces the harm from the body's limits. If you want a simple test for your own state, try a small mental task when you feel heat rising. Try to do a short sum in your head. Try to recite a phone number you know. If it is hard, your working memory is likely near its edge. Working memory is the part of your mind that holds a few items at once. Under stress, it holds fewer. You do not need to judge yourself for that. You just need to accept that right now is not the time for a long plan. Right now is the time to pause, to write a short summary later, and to return with a clear choice to make. You can help others without calling them out. If you see signs of flooding in a partner or a teammate, offer a neutral pause that saves face. You can say that the topic deserves clear thought and you will send a draft by the end of the day. You can suggest a short break to check a detail. You can propose a time cap for the next round. These moves are simple. They do not accuse. They respect the other person's body and mind as much as your own. Over time, people learn that these pauses lead to better results. They start to see them as a normal part of hard work, not as an insult. It helps to name the state to yourself in neutral words. You can think, "My pulse is up and my breath is short." That is a cue to pause. You do not need to name it as anger or fear in the moment. You do not need to dig into past events. Keep the label simple and tied to the body. The body gives you clear signals without drama. Use those signals as triggers for action. If you make it a routine, it will come easier. Your exits will be cleaner. Your returns will be stronger. There is a risk to avoid. Do not use biology as a cover to dodge duty. A pause is for cooling the body and for raising the quality of the talk. It is not a way to never decide. It is not a way to block feedback. It is not a way to punish by withholding time. If a matter is urgent and real, say so. Define what urgent means. Set a short pause if you must, then return with what you promised. Standards and follow through keep trust high while you respect the limits of the body. If you need to stay in the room and cannot leave, you can still lower your load. Slow your breath. Make the exhale longer than the inhale. Keep your eyes steady. Unclench your jaw. Place both feet flat on the floor. Ease your shoulders. These small cues tell your body that action is not needed right now. They nudge your pulse down. They make space for a calmer sentence. They do not solve the whole problem, but they buy time until you can pause fully. They also change how others read you. A slow voice and a steady face lower the chance that someone else will flood in response to you. The value of timing shows up in simple choices. If you are about to send a hot reply, wait until your pulse is lower. If you are about to make a big decision after a tense call, take a short walk. Then draft the decision in writing and sleep on it if the timeline allows. If someone presses you for an answer while you are flooded, say that you will provide it by a certain hour. This is not evasion. It is putting the decision in a window where your mind can weigh it well. Over time, people learn that your answers are steady and grounded. They may push less for instant replies because they know that a little delay leads to better outcomes. This pattern is measurable in daily life. After a month of using timed pauses in heated moments, many people report fewer regrets about words they said. They report fewer long loops that go nowhere. They report more decisions that hold up. They also report less fatigue at the end of the day. The gains are not from magic. They are from fewer minutes spent trying to think well while the body is in no shape to do so. Small pauses add up in your calendar and in your energy. You do not need to announce the biology to others every time. You can keep it as your own guide. If someone asks why you paused, you can explain in plain words that you want a clear talk and you think a short break helps that. You can mention that you plan to send a summary or options by a certain time. You can keep the tone simple. Most people will accept that. Many will feel relief because they were flooded too and did not have a safe way to stop. All of this ties back to the quiet exit we started with. The exit is not only a social tool, it is a way to work with how bodies function. It is a way to respect real limits and still get hard work done. It is a way to protect judgment in the moments when judgment is at risk. Once you feel this in your own day, the move stops feeling like a trick and starts feeling like routine care. You stop arguing with your biology. You start using it. There is one more layer that often makes heated moments harder. When more people watch, the pressure on each person rises. The body's threat system fires faster under public eyes. Voices tighten, stances harden. Updates become rare because no one wants to lose face. In that setting, the cost of staying grows quickly, and the benefit of a calm exit grows with it. Ending the show gives the work a chance to continue in a space where minds can move again. Do you feel your words change when more people are in the room? In the last chapter, we looked at what happens inside the body when a talk turns hot. The pulse climbs, the breath shortens, the mind narrows. Now add a room full of eyes to that state. Groups bring their own pressure. People start to think not only about the topic, but also about how they look to others. They think about rank and about respect. Rank here means how much weight their voice carries in that room. Respect here means how safe it feels to adjust a view without losing standing. This social layer stacks on top of the body layer. It is easy to see why live debate under these conditions can freeze. Each person wants to look certain. Each person wants to avoid public loss. The talk shifts away from learning and toward image. When many people watch, a second aim sneaks into the room. The first aim is to solve the problem. The second aim is to protect how you appear to the group. This second aim pushes people toward strong lines and quick answers. It pulls attention away from careful questions. You can see it in small cues. People scan faces to see who nods. They speak faster than usual. They reach for phrases they have used before because those feel safe. They hear a prompt and answer a different point because their mind is not taking in nuance. They repeat themselves. Volume rises by small steps. None of this means that anyone is acting in bad faith. It means the mix of stress and audience is running the show. Fear of public loss is a strong force. Few people want to be seen as changing their mind in front of a group. Even a small update can feel risky if it lands with a laugh or a smirk from the side of the room. So people hold their line. They deny new facts. They avoid saying, "I do not know." They avoid asking for time to check. They act sure. The more eyes in the room, the harder it feels to loosen a stance. This is how positions stick even when both sides can see that the talk is not producing good work. There is also the pull to look strong to allies. Groups often have subgroups. You may feel the eyes of your manager. Your manager may feel the eyes of their manager. A peer may feel the eyes of teammates. Each person thinks about how their side will judge a softening. That thought can shape words more than the facts on the table. You can hear this when someone starts to speak to their own row rather than to the person across from them. The focus shifts from reaching a decision to signaling loyalty. The topic is still there, but it becomes the backdrop rather than the main task. Bystanders affect the path too. People who are not central to the decision still send signals through posture, size, small jokes, or a quick glance. Others notice these small signals and adjust their own stance to avoid embarrassment. The room can split into sides even if the issue is simple. Once sides form, each comment feels heavier. It becomes harder to ask for a slow read of a number. It becomes harder to test a claim in good faith. It becomes harder to say, "You may be right." The talk turns into a loop where the same lines return, only louder. Digital rooms add another layer. A message thread with many readers can push the same behavior. Short replies win attention. Hot words spread fast. People pile on. The original question gets buried under fast takes. Even calm people can get pulled into this loop because it feels strange to leave a message unchallenged when many are watching. The cost of public loss feels high, so the cycle continues. The topic does not move. A calm exit is built for this. It removes the pressure of the group. It gives everyone a space to think without eyes on them. It allows a person to adjust without feeling that their standing will drop. You can carry the same tone we used before. One sentence, a clear time, a next step. For a live room, you can say you will send a short note with options by late afternoon. For a video call, you can say you will move the thread to writing and propose a short slot with 2 or 3 people who own the decision. For a loud group chat, you can say you are pausing the live back and forth and will post a summary with sources by tomorrow morning. Each of these moves does the same thing. It turns a public defense into a private review. Private space does not mean secrecy. It means a smaller, calmer setting where people can ask for facts, admit gaps, and suggest trials without the weight of an audience. In a one-to-one, someone can say, "I overstated that point," and not worry that a dozen people will quote it later. In a small group of 2 or 3, someone can say, "I need to check the cost," and not worry about a quick jab from the back row. When you move a heated topic into this kind of space, you give truth a better chance. You also give relationships a better chance because no one is forced to defend their pride in front of a crowd. This shift is not about hiding. It is about pacing. A complex topic needs attention that a public room rarely gives. A live audience rewards speed and confidence. Careful work needs time and steady focus. You are not taking the issue away from scrutiny. You are changing the setting so that scrutiny can be honest and precise. After that work is done, you can bring a clear plan back to the larger group. You will have facts to point to. You will have choices set out in plain words. You will have a path that people can accept without feeling that they lost a battle. Leaders have a special role here, and leader does not only mean a person with a title. Anyone who can set tone can lead. If you are the one who calls the pause, you model a way to handle public pressure. You show that looking calm matters more than looking fast. You show that you value decisions that hold up. You show that you will not reward noise. Over time, rooms change under this rule. People plan better. They bring data. They keep voices steady. They start to accept that saying, "I need to check that," is a mark of care, not a mark of weakness. If you are not the formal leader, you still have tools. You can ask for a short break. You can ask to take the question offline with the key person and return with a note. You can say you will write up 2 or 3 options with pros and cons and a clear request for a choice. You can do this without scolding. You can do it while keeping your face calm and your words short. You do not need permission to be steady. Your calm body helps others settle. Your clear line gives them a path to follow. The biggest barrier to change in a group is often the fear of losing face. Face here means the sense that others see you as able and fair. You can reduce that fear by giving credit in your notes, by naming what each person raised, and by showing how that input shaped the next step. When people see that their points were heard and used, they relax. They can update their view without feeling erased. They can accept a plan even if it is not their first choice because they see themselves in the process. This is a quiet form of respect. It makes the next round easier. You will still meet rooms where someone seeks to keep you in the live loop. They may press you to answer now. They may call your pause a dodge. They may raise their voice as you stand. Do not argue about the pause. The pause is your rule. Keep your line simple. Name the time you will return and the form it will take. Then move. When you honor your own time, others learn that the way to reach you is through the path you set. They learn that loud moves do not work on you. This is not a power game. It is a way to protect the work and the people doing it. Some conflicts need public light, such as matters of safety or harm. In those cases, do not hide them. Use formal paths. Bring in a manager, a human resources partner, or an ombud if you have one. A calm exit does not replace duty. It helps with topics where heat is blocking thought and where a better channel can serve the decision. Use judgment. Keep ethics first. In families and friendships, the same pattern appears. A tense talk at a table with many relatives can make small points feel heavy. People worry about stories that will travel. They speak to protect how they are seen. A short step outside can reset the path. A one-to-one walk can make space for new words. A short text later in the day with a clear next step can lower the load. You do not need to prove anything in front of everyone. You need to keep respect and find a plan that fits the facts. Remote work changes the shape, but not the force. On a video grid, people still worry about how they appear. On a public channel, people still try to protect standing. Use the same move. Offer a timed pause. Offer a small follow-up slot with the people who own the choice. Offer a written brief. Keep posts short. Keep tone plain. Avoid sarcasm and labels. Keep names out of blame. These simple choices keep heat from spilling into the whole group. When a room freezes, the cost is not just stress. The cost is delay in decisions and in work that depends on those decisions. Each minute of stuck talk pushes other tasks out. Each hour spent on a loop is an hour not spent on building, serving, or learning. The loss often hides because no one sends a bill for it. Yet it shows up on calendars as packed days with thin results. It shows up as late nights that did not have to be late. It shows up as a sense that hard work did not move the needle. A quiet exit makes the cost visible because it separates talk that moves things from talk that does not. When you pause and return with a plan, you can see what got done. You can see which inputs were needed and which were noise. You can see who came prepared. You can see where the process broke. This helps you adjust rules around access and preparation. It helps you set steady ways of working that protect time for everyone. It is fair to say that groups have value. They bring more eyes to a topic. They bring more skill. They bring more history. The point is not to avoid groups. The point is to use groups for the right parts of the work and to step out when the group setting turns into a trap for pride and speed. A calm exit is the switch that lets you move between modes. It keeps the good parts of group work and trims the parts that waste time. You can start small. Pick one context that often turns hot in front of others. Decide your one line for a pause. Decide the form of your return. Practice the move when the next flare starts. Keep your voice even. Keep your words short. Keep your promise to return with something useful. Notice how the tone changes. Notice how people behave when the audience is gone. Notice the quality of the next step. These observations will guide your next changes. As you get better at this, you may spot patterns that repeat across different rooms. It might be that surprise topics create the most heat. It might be that decisions without owners stall. It might be that long meetings drift into loops after the first part. When you see these patterns, you can adjust how you schedule, how you accept topics, and how you set time caps. Small adjustments reduce the chance that a room turns into a place where no one can move their view. Small adjustments protect the hours that matter. The thread through all of this is simple. Stress narrows the mind. Public eyes add weight to every word. Pride and fear lock positions. A calm exit lowers the load and gives people a safe path to update. Private space lets facts do their job. Then a clear plan can return to the group. When this becomes normal, rooms get quieter. Work moves. People feel safer. The hidden cost of stuck talk drops because there is less of it. The next time you feel a room harden, try the one-sentence pause. Name the time you will return. Move the work to a small, clear setting. Bring back options, data, and a request for a choice. The group will see the difference in the outcome and in the clock. The time you free from loops becomes time for real tasks. The calendar will show it without you saying a word. Do you know how many hours a heated exchange takes from your week? In the last chapters, we focused on what happens inside you and inside a room when talk turns hot. Your pulse climbs. Your breath shortens. Faces in the room add pressure. Minds harden. There is another part that is quieter, but just as real. It shows up on your calendar. Every loop has a time cost. It is not a metaphor. It is minutes and hours you could spend on work that moves a result. When you start to count those hours, the case for a calm exit becomes simple. You are not only saving nerves, you are saving blocks of time that you can point to and measure. Think about a small example that many teams recognize. Picture a team of 5 people. Twice in a day, a debate flares for about 15 minutes. That may not sound like much. It is easy to wave off 15 minutes as a blip. But count what happens when the whole team is pulled into that flare. 2 bursts of 15 minutes make 30 minutes in a day for each person. Multiply that by 5 people, and the team just spent 150 minutes in a loop. That is 2.5 hours of paid time in a single day with nothing built, nothing shipped, and no new skill learned. Stretch that across a 20-day work month and you get 3,000 minutes. 3,000 minutes is 50 hours. That is more than a full work week of time. You can check the math from your own schedule. The point is not to be exact to the minute. The point is to see that small daily loops grow into large monthly losses. You may wonder if this math is fair. Maybe not everyone in the room is fully distracted. Maybe some people keep working while the debate rages. That can be true, and yet the drain still spreads. Even if a person is not speaking, they are likely half listening, waiting for their turn or watching the tone to see if it will touch their work. Attention leaks. Tasks stretch. A few minutes of heat often produce a long tail of lost focus. If you want a clear test, pick 1 week and mark every time a heated back and forth crosses 5 minutes. Mark how many people are present. Mark how long it lasts. Turn the minutes into hours. Most people are surprised by the sum. A calm exit is a simple way to compress these spikes. go back to the same team of 5 people. Instead of debating for 15 minutes twice in a day, someone uses one clear line and pauses. The flare still starts, but the pause lands early. Each spike drops from about 15 minutes to about 2 minutes. 2 bursts of 2 minutes add up to 4 minutes per day for each person. Multiply by 5 people and you get 20 minutes per day across the team. Stretch that across a 20-day work month and you get 400 minutes. 400 minutes is a bit more than 6 hours. Round up and call it about 7 hours. Compare 7 hours to 50 hours. The difference is a full work week brought back into play. You do not need applause for this. Your calendar will show blocks of time that did not exist before. The gain is not abstract. It moves real work. 50 hours lost to loops can be the reason a report slides into the weekend. It can be the reason a design lingers in draft. It can be the reason a customer waits. When you cut those loops down to 7 hours, you get back days of steady work. You get back early evenings. You get back follow-through on small tasks that remove future friction. People feel the change even if they do not name it. Days feel cleaner because there are fewer interruptions that spiral. If you want to map your own cost with care, you can do it with a few lines on paper. Start by writing down how many people are usually present when a heated exchange begins. Next, write down how many minutes a typical flare lasts before it fades or shifts. Then write down how many flares happen in a day. Pick a number of workdays in a month that fits your schedule. Many teams use 20 workdays as a simple base. Multiply the people by the minutes, by the flares, by the days. That gives you total minutes. Turn minutes into hours by dividing by 60. The result is the monthly cost of unstructured heat in hours. Do the same math again after you start using a calm exit. Then compare the two sums. The space between them is the time you saved. It is common to see gains of 10 hours or more across a month with just a few steady pauses. The exact number matters less than the fact that you can measure it and improve it. Some will say that talk is part of the job. That is true. The aim is not to erase talk. The aim is to remove loops that do not move a decision or a plan. You can tell the difference by looking at outcomes. If a 20-minute block ends with a clear choice, a named owner, and a deadline, that is productive talk. If a 20-minute block ends with the same claims repeated and no next step, that is a loop. A calm exit is designed to cut the second kind short and move it to a mode that creates outcomes you can track. That shift is where the time savings come from. To keep this practical, try a small exercise for yourself. Think of a typical Monday. Scan through the meetings or the chats where heat is likely. Note where they often flare. Picture using one calm sentence in each of those moments. Picture the flare ending in 2 minutes rather than 15. Picture sending a short written summary with options by late afternoon instead of arguing live. Picture a brief slot the next day with only the 2 or 3 people who own the decision. When you lay that out, you can see the extra space on your calendar. That space is not empty. It is filled with work that climbs in quality because it is not cut apart by heat. There is a second benefit that shows up when you track time this way. You can find the sources of waste. Maybe the worst loops come from surprise topics dropped into long meetings. Maybe they come from unclear owners. Maybe they come from missing data. Once you see the pattern, you can set a small rule to prevent it. You can ask for an agenda in advance. You can assign an owner for the decision before the meeting starts. You can require that key facts are present before you will spend live time. These rules do not punish. They protect. They make it easier for a group to use the live hour well and move the rest to writing. This is where calendar evidence beats strong claims. If you tell a team that rules will save time, you may get nods and little change. If you show that last month you lost 40 hours to loops and this month you lost 12 hours, the room pays attention. If you can point to 3 days of deep work protected by calm exits, people notice. If you show that the speed of decisions rose while the number of meetings dropped, people change habits. The goal is not to win an argument about productivity. The goal is to let the calendar and the output speak. Skepticism is healthy. You do not need to take any of this on faith. Test it for a single month. Keep a simple note on days when you use a calm exit. Mark the start time and end time of the flare. Mark the number of people in the room. Mark the form of your return, whether it was a short note or a small follow-up. Add up the minutes at the end of the week. Compare to a week where you did not use exits. If the numbers are close, adjust your approach and try again. Maybe your pause line needs to be shorter. Maybe your return needs clearer options. Maybe you need to set the time of return with more precision. Treat it as a small craft you tune. Aim for results you can see and measure. A helpful detail is that a calm exit often reduces secondary costs. Heated moments leave traces in the day. After a long loop, people often need time to cool down and refocus. That recovery time does not show inside the meeting block, but it shows in the next hour when a task that should take 10 minutes takes 30. It shows in small errors that create rework later. When you cut the loop early, you also cut this tail. You protect the next block of work from being infected by the last block of noise. Over a month, these protected hours are a quiet pool of value. Some worry that pauses and written follow-ups slow things down too much. There is a trade. You do stop a live exchange. You do add a short delay, but you remove repeat meetings that happen because decisions made in heat do not hold. You remove the need to correct misquotes. You remove back and forth caused by missing facts. You remove the time people spend defending positions they took in public that they do not actually believe in private. When you add up what you removed, the net speed is higher. The proof sits in fewer total hours spent on the same issue and in cleaner outcomes. You can also use time math to set priorities. Not every conflict deserves a pause and a written brief. Use a quick check with yourself before you step in. Ask how high the stakes are. Ask whether there is shared ground. Ask whether your voice is likely to change the outcome today. If stakes are low, leave and invest the hour elsewhere. If stakes are high and there is shared ground, use a structured talk after a short reset. If stakes are high and no shared ground exists, move to a higher channel such as a manager or a formal process. This triage prevents you from spending rare hours on loops that will not move. The same math applies in digital spaces. Comment threads can pull whole mornings into a blur with no result. Each reply feels small, but they stack. If you cap your replies, mute threads that pull you off aim, and block accounts that feed fights, you will often see screen time drop by an hour or two per day. Across a month, that is 20 to 40 hours. That is a large project, a course, or many nights of calm rest. Again, no need for big claims. Your device's screen report will show it. An overlooked part of time cost is context switching. Every time a loop interrupts focus, your mind pays a small fee to stop and start. That fee is not a precise number for every person, but most people feel it. A simple task takes longer than it should because of the extra startups. Calm exits reduce the number of startups. They fence heated topics into short windows. They let you group work by type. That shows up in smoother days and in work that holds together better. There is also a money cost behind the time cost. If you want to make it visible, take the hourly rate of the people in the room and multiply by the hours lost to loops. Do this for a quarter and show the sum. This is not about blame. It is a way to make the impact real. When leaders see that unstructured heat has a price tag, they care in a practical way. They are more open to simple rules that lower the burn. They are more open to calendars with shorter, tighter meetings and more space for deep work. They are more open to making preparation a standard for entry. To make these changes stick, tie time savings to a clear practice. Use a one-sentence pause. Name a return time. Move the issue to the right channel. Keep records short and plain. Track outcomes. Share wins in a low-key way. When a team sees that a calm exit freed a half-day that turned into a useful deliverable, they will want more of it. When a partner sees that a written brief ended a loop in one round, they will start to send you clear inputs without being asked. Behavior shifts because results are steady. It is worth noting that written channels are your ally in this effort. Writing slows the pace. It shortens live exchange. It leaves a record. It lets you mark owners and dates. It makes it easier to define decisions. It reduces misquotes. It brings in quieter voices who think with care. Many hours are saved by a single line, such as, "I will send options by 3 p.m." That is not a flourish. It is a time saver that also raises quality. When used with care, this channel turns heat into work that moves forward. The pattern becomes simple when you see it on the clock. Heat rises, minutes slip, and outcomes stall. A calm exit pauses the slide. A short written plan returns in its place. People can review. People can decide. The time you get back is real. You do not need slogans to sell it. You can point to the hours on your calendar and to the output on your desk. Once you have lived this for a few weeks, you will know which moments to pause, which to move to writing, and which to escalate. Your day will hold more blocks of quiet work and fewer loops that drain you. And when a flare begins, one clear sentence that shifts the talk to a written next step can turn an hour of heat into a few minutes of calm progress. What changes when you move a heated talk into writing? In the last chapter, we counted the hours that live loops can burn. The numbers were not abstract. They were minutes on a clock that you could feel in your day. Now we turn to a simple tool that turns those minutes into progress. The tool is a short line that shifts the channel. You say, "I will send options by 3 p.m." You end the live back and forth. You move to a page or a message where words are slower and clearer. This small shift lowers heat and raises quality. It gives you and others a fair chance to think, to check facts, and to make a decision that holds. Writing helps because it sets pace. Live talk pushes you to answer fast. Writing invites you to choose words with care. You can delete a sentence that does not serve the aim. You can check a number before you send it. You can separate what is a feeling from what is a fact. You can mark who owns what and by when. You can make the decision point clear at the top. When others read, they can pause too. They can review twice. They can look up data before replying. This exchange becomes less about who speaks louder and more about what the work needs. The first move is the one-sentence pivot. Keep it short, calm, and precise. It needs 3 parts. It needs to say that you are pausing the live talk. It needs to name the next step. It needs to set a time. A clean example is, "I am pausing here and will send a short summary with 2 options by 3 p.m. If the setting is a group chat, you can type the same line and then mute the thread on your side so you do not get pulled back in. If the setting is a meeting, you can say the line, gather your notes, and step out. These are small actions. They have large effects because they change the channel. Once you move to writing, set a clear aim in the first line. Say what outcome you seek. You can use plain words. You can write, "This note asks for a choice between path A and path B for the launch." Or, "This note proposes 3 options to solve the budget gap." Or, "This note summarizes risks we need to address before we proceed." The first line is important because it tells the reader what to look for. It stops the drift that happens when people scan without knowing the point. After the aim, state the decision need if there is one. Decision need means the exact choice that a person must make. Write it as a direct sentence. "Please choose one option by Thursday at noon." Or, "Please confirm whether we proceed or stop by tomorrow at 5 p.m. If the decision sits with you, say what you will decide and by when. If it sits with someone else, name them. Naming the decision need and the owner keeps the thread from expanding into side topics. Now present the options or the facts, but do it in short, clean paragraphs. Use direct verbs, avoid long preambles. If there are options, write 1 paragraph for each option. Start each paragraph by naming the option in a simple way, such as, Option 1, delay the launch by 1 week. Then add the key points that matter for that option. Keep sentences short. If there are costs, state them in a range and explain what is included. If there are risks, name them in neutral words. If there is data, attach it or link to it and say what it shows in 1 sentence. The goal is to make it easy for a reader to see the shape of the choice without needing to guess. Ownership matters in writing. Name who will do what next and by when. If the design team needs to provide new assets, write, "Design will deliver revised assets by Monday at 4 p.m." If finance needs to confirm a number, write, "Finance will confirm the cost baseline by Wednesday morning." If you are taking on a task, write, "I will draft the customer note and send it for review by end of day." Clear owners and clear times prevent drift. They also make it easier to check progress later without reliving the whole debate. Tone is a tool. Keep it plain and steady. Avoid sarcasm. Avoid jokes. Avoid labels for people. If you need to describe impact, do it with neutral words. You can write, "The last change caused a 2-day delay." You do not need to say, "You made us late." If you need to name a concern, state it as a condition to meet. You can write, "To proceed, we need evidence that the supply can meet demand for 8 weeks." You do not need to say, "You always overpromise." Neutral tone keeps focus on facts and choices. It also lowers the chance that someone floods and turns the note into a new loop. You may worry that writing takes too long. This is a fair question. The key is to keep notes short. Aim for a single screen if possible. If the issue is complex and needs more, put the summary at the top and the details below, or in a brief attachment. The summary should carry the decision need, the options, and the dates. The details can carry tables, sources, and deeper analysis. This way, busy readers can decide and careful readers can inspect. You are serving both without forcing either into the wrong mode. Clarity in writing is helped by simple checks before you send. Read the first line and ask yourself if the aim is obvious. Scan for vague words such as soon, later, and many. Replace them with dates and numbers written out, such as Friday at 10 a.m., or 3 units, or 6 weeks. Look for long sentences and break them into 2. Check that every task has an owner and a time. Check that your tone is free of heat. If a sentence sounds sharp in your head, soften it to a neutral form. These small checks take little time and prevent large confusion. You can also make writing more inclusive. Not everyone likes to speak in a room. Not everyone can process fast talk. Writing gives space to those who think with care and prefer to review. It lets people in other time zones participate without staying up late. It helps people for whom the language of the room is a second or third language because reading is easier than tracking speech at speed. It helps people with different processing styles because they can pause and return. When you write, you are not only saving time, you are opening the door to voices that live outside the quick talk mode. Some terms in written work may sound like jargon. If you must use them, give a short explanation in plain words. If you say baseline, add that it means the current known cost or value before changes. If you say scope, add that it means what is included and what is not. If you say owner, add that it means the person responsible for moving the task to done. Short definitions help readers stay with you. They reduce side questions that waste time. Subject lines and titles can do real work. A subject that says, "Decision needed, choose vendor by Friday 5 p.m. is more useful than update. A subject that says, "Summary and options, budget gap beats thoughts." The subject sets expectations. It helps people sort. It helps them return to the thread later. When you look back, a clear subject saves search time. It also shows that you treat others' attention as a resource, not as a bin for random notes. In long threads, you may feel the pull to reply to every small point. Resist that pull. If a thread passes a handful of replies and starts to loop, write a short summary and restart the thread with a clean note. Say what is agreed. Say what is unresolved. Say what you will do next, and by when. Then stop. This resets the exchange. It removes weight from old messages. It gives everyone a fresh place to stand. It also shows that you can steer without drama. Written records protect trust. People forget details after live talks, especially when heat is high. A short note with a timestamp reduces misquotes. It gives you and others a reference. If someone asks, "Did we decide this?" you can point to the sentence where the decision was made and the time it was made. If someone claims, "You ignored my point," you can point to where you included it and how it shaped the next step. This is not about winning. It is about keeping shared memory accurate so you do not pay for the same argument twice. Emotions do not vanish in writing. They show up in word choice and speed. If you feel a surge while drafting, pause, stand up, breathe, return when your pulse is lower. If you need to acknowledge emotion, do it in a short sentence that names the impact, not the person. You can write, "I felt frustrated when the scope changed late," then move to the path forward. You can write, "To prevent this, let us lock scope by Wednesday noon for the next sprint." Facts plus a step calm the channel. They show care without turning the note into a new fight. Templates help make this repeatable. You can keep a simple shape in mind. Start with one line that states the aim. Follow with one line that states the decision need and the deadline. Add short paragraphs for each option or for the key facts. Name owners and times. End with the next action. If you use this shape again and again, others will recognize it. They will scan to the part they need. They will respond faster. The shape becomes a shared language for moving work. Writing also helps you think. When you put a claim on a page, you see whether it holds. You notice gaps. You look for sources. You notice when you are repeating a belief without support. The act of writing becomes a small test. It catches weak points before others do. It turns your pause into better substance. That substance carries more weight than a hot sentence in a room. It earns trust because it is careful and grounded. You might ask when to choose writing and when to return to a live talk. A simple guide is the state of the topic. If facts are missing, move to writing to gather them. If options need to be set out, move to writing to lay them out. If a decision is ready and the owners are clear, a short live talk can be useful to confirm and commit. Use writing to build the base and leave time to finalize when the ground is clear. This sequence keeps live talk short and focused. It also respects the body limits we discussed earlier because people step into the room calmer when the work is already on the page. Some people worry that moving to writing can feel cold. Warmth can live in plain words. You can thank people for their input. You can credit a good catch. You can show care for pressure others are under. You can do all this without flattery and without long praise. A single line such as, "Thank you for flagging the risk early," is enough. Kindness does not need many words. It needs timely, honest words that match facts. A good written habit is to close with a clear next step and a time. The last line should answer, "What happens now?" You can write, "I will send the updated plan by tomorrow at 10 a.m. or "Please reply with your choice by Thursday at 3 p.m. or "Let us hold a 15-minute check at 9 a.m. to confirm the decision." This line prevents drift. It gives each person a place to act. It also supports your calm exit because the exit points to a firm return. Over time, you will see benefits beyond one thread. People will start to write to you with the same shape you use. They will put the decision need at the top. They will name owners. They will add dates. They will drop labels and keep tone neutral. This happens because you respond faster to notes that meet your standard. Your attention trains the room. You do not have to preach. You write cleanly and reward clean writing with fast action. Writing also protects you in settings with hierarchy. In some rooms, stepping out looks bold. A short message after the meeting with a summary and a plan shows that you stayed engaged. It gives your manager or client a clear record of your follow-through. If someone challenges your pause, you can point to the outcomes that followed. You can show that the shift to writing did not slow the work. It sped it up by cutting loops and reducing errors. You can bring this habit into family life and personal projects too. If a talk at home gets tense, you can pause and send a short note that names what you heard, what you propose, and when you want to check in. Simple lines help. You can write, "I heard that you want a clearer plan for chores. I will write a schedule and share it by tonight." You can write, "I felt tense earlier. I will take a walk and call you after dinner to plan the weekend. These notes reduce guesswork. They show care without adding heat. Digital tools can support this without taking over your day. Use a document for longer notes and send the link. Use email or chat for short ones. Keep your notifications calm. Batch replies when you can. If a thread grows long, make a new one with a clear subject. If you get pulled into side topics, say that you will treat them in a separate note and focus this thread on the main decision. These moves keep writing from turning into another loop. Accuracy matters. When you cite a number, say where it comes from. If it is an estimate, say so. If it is a measured value, say when it was measured. If there is uncertainty, name it and state what would reduce it. This builds trust. It prevents fights about sources later. It helps others make choices with eyes open. It also helps you because you will catch weak spots while drafting instead of being surprised in a live room. If silence worries you after you send a note, use one line that prevents misread intent. Write, I am not ignoring you. I am moving this to writing to avoid a fight and will send options by tomorrow. This shows that you are active, not absent. It protects the relationship. It keeps the door open with the frame. It also gives you a record that you can point to if needed. One calm sentence can hold a lot of weight. Everything in this chapter supports a clean exit and a strong return. The exit line is short and steady. The return is a written plan that is easy to read. The plan carries the decision need, the options, the owners, and the dates. The tone is neutral. The path forward is visible. The time saved shows on the calendar. The quality gains show in fewer corrections and in outcomes that hold. You do not need special status to do this. You need a habit you can repeat. When the next live flare starts, use the one-sentence pivot. Name the pause and the time. Then write. Keep it short. Keep it plain. Send it when your pulse is steady. End with a clear next step. If a brief check is still needed, schedule a short slot with the people who own the choice. The shift from heat to writing is the hinge that turns conflict into decisions and into work you can track. The line that shifts the mode is simple. The body move that follows can be just as simple. Do you know the exact words you will use when a talk turns hot and you need to leave? In the last chapters, we shifted live heat into writing and saw how that move protects time and quality. Now the focus is the exit itself. A clean exit is a small sequence you can repeat. It uses your body, your voice, and one sentence. It does not need drama. It needs steadiness. When you can leave well, you lower the heat for everyone, and you open a path to better work. The aim is not to punish or to win. The aim is to pause the loop, protect judgment, and set a firm return. A clean exit starts before you speak. You notice signs in yourself. Your breath is short. Your jaw is tight. Your urge to reply fast is strong. You remember from earlier that this is a sign of flooding. You do not wait for perfect conditions. You decide to pause. You pick one sentence you will say. You keep it short and specific. You do not explain your feelings. You do not play history. You do not add advice. You say what you will do next and when you will do it. That is the core of the method. Your body carries as much message as your words. As you prepare to leave, slow your breath. Keep your face neutral. Place both feet flat. Stand up in a steady way. Do not rush. Do not slam anything. If a laptop is open, close it gently. If papers are on the table, gather them in one calm motion. Avoid gestures that add sparks, like pointing, shrugging, or rolling your eyes. These cues show that you are following a procedure, not staging a protest. This helps others accept the pause without feeling provoked. Your one sentence names the pause, the next step, and the time. You can say, I am pausing here and will send 2 options by 3 p.m. You can say, this has become unproductive. I will write a summary and share it after lunch. You can say, I am stopping now and will reconnect at 2:30 p.m. with a plan. Keep your tone even. Keep your pace slow. End the sentence and stop talking. Do not explain why the other person is wrong. Do not add a final note. Do not offer tips. The power of the line is in its clarity and its endpoint. After you speak, you move. Do not wait for permission. Do not linger for debate about the pause. If someone interrupts with, "So you are refusing to answer," you do not take that bait. You can repeat your line once with the same words and the same tone, then go. If they ask a new question as you stand, hold your line. Questions are often hooks in that moment. You are not ignoring the topic. You are keeping your promise to pause and to return with something useful. You leave the room or end the call. You do not slam doors. You do not sigh. You do not make faces. The simple exit is part of the method. On a phone call, the sequence is the same. You say, "I am pausing here and will call back at 3 p.m. with options." Then you end the call. Do not wait for approval to hang up. Do not add last words. Do not check in one more time. End the call and protect the pause. If the other person calls back right away, let it ring through. Your one sentence already set the time. On a video call, you can say, "I am stopping now and will send a summary by 5 p.m., then click leave. On a group chat, you can type, "Pausing here to avoid a fight. I will post a summary with next steps by tomorrow morning," then mute the thread so you are not pulled back in by new pings. The few minutes after you exit are not empty. Use them to reset your body and anchor your plan. Walk for a short span. Drink water. Breathe in a slow pattern where the exhale is longer than the inhale. Let your shoulders drop. Look at a stable point in the room. These small moves tell your body that action can calm. When you feel your pulse lower, write your next step. If you promised options, draft them now in simple form. If you promised a summary, outline it. If you promised a time to resume, put it on the calendar and send the invite. Doing this right away helps you keep your promise. It also keeps your mind from replaying the argument, which would raise your pulse again. The next step you send should match the promise you made. If you said you would send 2 options by 3 p.m., send 2 options by 3 p.m. If you see that you need more time, do not disappear. Send a short update before the time arrives. You can write, "I am still drafting. I will send the options by 5 p.m. This protects trust. It shows that your pause is not an avoidance. It is a structured move that leads to action. The more you meet your own times, the more others accept your exits without pushback. When you write the follow-up, carry forward the plain style we used earlier. Start with one line that states the aim. Follow with one line that states the decision needed and the deadline. Lay out the options or facts in short paragraphs. Name owners and times. Close with a clear next step. Keep the tone neutral. If the earlier exchange included harsh words, do not use the follow-up to reply in kind. Keep your eye on the work. Facts and dates do the heavy lift. The record you create also protects you from misquotes later. There will be times when someone chases after you with extra messages, calls, or side chats to pull you back into live heat before the time you set. Resist that pull. Your best reply is a repeat of your plan. You can write, "I am paused and will respond by 3 p.m. as noted. Thank you." Do not explain further. Do not engage in back and forth about the pause. If it helps, shut off notifications for a while. The clean break is part of the method because it lets all bodies cool. It also shows that your line is steady. People learn from steadiness, not from speeches. Some worry that a calm exit will look rude. Rude exits come from silence without a plan, from slamming out, from sarcasm, or from blame. A clean exit is the opposite. It is one sentence with a next step and a time. It is a neutral face and a steady voice. It is follow-through that arrives when promised. Over a few tries, most people see the pattern and accept it. Some will even feel relief because they did not have a safe way to stop the loop themselves. Your calm tone creates space for everyone to return with a clearer mind. You can practice the exit lines in low-stakes moments so they come out clean when stakes rise. Say them out loud when alone. Feel where you rush words. Slow them down. Remove extra phrases. The line should be comfortable in your mouth. If you work across languages, prepare the line in the language you will use. Keep it as plain as possible. Plain words are easier to say under pressure. They also land better for people who are under pressure. Exits inside a strict hierarchy need care. If leaving the room would be seen as defiance, you can still pause with softer steps. You can ask for a short break. You can say, "I need 10 minutes to check a key number. I will return at 2 p.m. You can propose, "I will move this to email and send a summary by end of day." You are still exiting the live loop. You are doing it in a way that fits the norm of that room. The core is the same. One sentence, a next step, a time. Then follow through. Family settings also benefit from clear exits. If a dinner talk turns tense, you can say, "I am getting heated and do not want to say something I regret. I will step outside and come back in 20 minutes. After that, I will write down a plan for chores we can review tonight." Keep your tone gentle. Keep your promise. Later, send the short plan. In close relationships, the record can be a simple note on paper or a message. The aim is to move from heat to structure without punishing anyone. If safety is at risk, do not debate. Leave and seek help. A calm exit is not a tool for danger. It is a tool for avoiding harm that comes from bad timing and public pressure. When harm is possible, use formal paths. Call someone who can help. Report what needs reporting. Protect yourself and others first. A small but powerful detail is your pace as you leave. People will mirror your speed. If you rush, they may rush. If you move with steady pace, they often settle. Even your eyes matter. Avoid locking eyes with someone who wants to keep the fight going. Let your gaze be soft and downward as you gather your things. These cues lower sparks. They help your exit land as a routine, not as a challenge. Some rooms have a person who will throw a final jab as you go. Expect it without planning a reply. Your reply already happened. It was your one sentence. The jab is noise. If you reply, you restart the loop. If you let it pass, the loop ends. This is simple to say and hard to do. It gets easier with practice. Remind yourself that your task is to protect the work. Silence here is not surrender. It is a choice to keep your plan intact. When you return after a pause, it helps to begin with a brief recap of the scope. You can say, "Here is the summary I promised. The decision we need is between these two options by 5 p.m. This frames the talk right away. It picks up the thread you set earlier. It also signals that you will keep the exchange tight. If someone tries to reopen old heat, you can say, "I am staying on the decision." Side topics can go in a separate note. Then you continue. Staying on track is part of the clean exit pattern. It keeps the pause from being wasted. If the other side breaks the frame after you return, end early and reset. You can say, "This is drifting back into heat. I am ending here and will send a revised plan by tomorrow morning." Then do it. Ending early is not punishment. It is maintenance of the standard. Over time, people learn that your time is governed by a clear line. They adjust if they want access to your help. It is common to wonder how many times to pause with the same person or group. There is no perfect number. Use simple signs. If pauses lead to better inputs and cleaner talks, keep using them. If the same patterns repeat with no change, reduce live time and increase written time. If there is still no change and stakes are high, move the matter up a channel to a manager or a formal process. You are not required to stay in the same loop forever. Your duty is to the work and to fair process. After a week of practicing clean exits, you may notice side benefits. Your days feel less jagged. Your energy at the end of the day is higher. You make fewer cleanup calls. You send fewer apology notes for words said in heat. These are small signals that the method is working. If you want to be precise, keep a simple record of pauses used, times promised, and times met. You do not need a complex system. A few lines in a notebook can show trends. Seeing your own steadiness on paper builds confidence to keep going. Teach the method by modeling it. Do not ask others to use calm exits if you do not. Show them with your own choices. When a teammate pauses well, thank them. When a partner sends a clear summary after a pause, respond in kind. Culture shifts through repeated acts that others can see and copy. No need for long speeches. The work shows the value. Clean exits also work well when paired with clear entry standards. Many heated moments start because the way in was loose. Surprise topics land on a crowded agenda. Meetings have no owner or aim. Requests arrive without key facts. When the front door is wide open, you end up using exits more than you need to. By setting small rules for how work reaches you, you prevent many loops from starting. You are not blocking people. You are shaping the flow so that live time is used for decisions and for plans, and so that writing carries the load it should. The core remains simple. Notice your state. Use one sentence with a next step and a time. Leave with steady body and neutral face. Protect the pause. Return with a clear written plan or a tight frame for a short talk. End early if heat returns. Repeat as needed. The more you use this, the more your calendar reflects calm. The more your partners learn, the more they prepare to meet your standards. And when your exits sit on top of clear rules for entry, your days shift from reacting to leading. What happens when you make clear rules for how people get your time? Up to now, we have focused on exits and returns. We learned to pause a heated exchange, shift to writing, and come back with a clear plan. That move works even better when the front door is steady. The front door is how people reach you, how topics enter your day, and what must be ready before live time begins. Access rules are not about status. They are simple standards that protect focus and reward preparation. When they are clear and steady, many flare-ups never start. Your exits become rare, your writing gets stronger, and live time produces decisions instead of loops. An access rule is a small statement that shapes behavior. It says, "Here is what I need in order to help." It is not a moral lecture. It is not a speech about values. It is a procedure. You apply it in calm times and intense times. You repeat it with the same words so people learn it. Over days and weeks, the room adjusts because your attention follows the rule. Where your attention goes, habits grow. Where your attention does not go, noise fades. Start with the most basic gate. A meeting needs an aim. A clean way to set this is to require an agenda for every meeting. Agenda here means a short note that states the purpose, the decisions to make, and who will decide. You can place this rule in your invites and in your replies. You can write, "Please include a one-line aim and the list of decisions we need to make." If no agenda arrives by a set time, you do not attend. You can say gently, "I do not have an agenda yet, so I will pass and join when the aim and decisions are clear." This is not punishment. It is a boundary that saves the room from drift. A useful agenda says in the first line what the meeting exists to do. It could be choose between two vendors for the launch. It could be agree on scope for the next sprint. It could be review risks and pick mitigations. Then it names the decision owner so there is no confusion about who will commit. It gives the time window, such as 30 minutes with a hard stop. It links any needed material. It does not need to be long. In many cases, 5 sentences are enough. With this in place, people know what to bring and how to prepare. When the meeting starts, you can point to the aim and move straight to the work. Surprise topics are a common cause of heat. Someone brings a fresh issue into the last 10 minutes. Another person reacts because they had no notice. The talk tilts, and the hour ends without progress. A simple rule prevents this. You can state that new topics do not enter live time without notice. If one appears, you note it and schedule a slot for it. You can say, "I am adding this to our list for Friday at 10 a.m. and will ask for a short note in advance." Then you return to the current aim. This keeps trust. People see that their topic is not ignored. It is placed on a clear path with time to prepare. Requests reach you through many channels. Some arrive as vague pings. Some arrive as long threads without a clear ask. You can route these into a short request note. It can be a small template that asks for the purpose, the decision needed, the deadline, the current facts, and the owner. You can say, Please send a short note that states the aim, the choice you need, the latest data, and who owns the decision. I will schedule time once I have that. This is an intake rule. Intake just means how work enters your queue. It makes it easier for you to help because it gives you the basics in one place. It also trains others to think clearly about what they really need. Ready work is a helpful phrase. Ready work means the inputs are complete enough that your time will produce an outcome. You can define ready work for your context in a few plain lines. You can say, I will start once I have the baseline numbers, the constraints, the decision owner, the timeline, and the success criteria. Baseline means the current known values before changes. Constraints mean limits we must respect. Success criteria mean how we will judge if the work did its job. When people meet these conditions, your work moves fast. When they do not, your day fills with guesswork and rework. A ready work rule prevents that waste. Time caps protect focus. A time cap is the maximum length of a meeting. A default cap of 30 minutes keeps most talks tight. For complex matters, you can allow 60 minutes, but only when the agenda shows that more time is needed. A hard stop means you end on time even if the talk is mid-sentence. If more is needed, you set a follow-up with a fresh aim. This sounds strict, yet it is kind. Ending on time shows you respect everyone's day. It also forces preparation. People bring the key points because they know the clock is real. The first minute of a meeting sets the tone. Use it to confirm the aim, the decisions, the owner, and the time cap. You can say, the aim is to choose a vendor, the owner is Maria, and we have 30 minutes with a hard stop. Then you move. If someone tries to add a surprise topic, you place it on the future list and stay on track. If the talk drifts, you bring it back to the decision. If heat rises, you can pause and move to writing, then return with options. Your exit skills live inside your entry rules. The two support each other. You will meet pushback when you first set rules. Someone will say there is no time to prepare an agenda. Someone will say that rules slow things down. Keep your tone steady. You can reply, a short agenda saves time for everyone. Please send it by noon and I will confirm. You can say, I work faster when inputs are complete. Please send the baseline and the constraints, and I will pick it up. You are not arguing. You are naming the condition for your attention. When you hold the line with calm words and real follow-through, most pushback fades. Make the rules visible so people do not have to guess. Add a one-line note in your email footer that says you accept meetings with a short agenda that names the aim and the decisions. Add a link to your request template in your profile or in the tools your team uses. Put the time cap in your meeting invites. Use the same phrases each time. Repetition teaches. People learn what earns a fast reply and what does not. They bring you what you ask for because it works. Keep room for real urgency. Urgency is not a loud voice. Urgency means time-sensitive harm if delayed. That could be a safety issue, a legal deadline, a customer outage, or a loss that grows by the hour. When someone says it is urgent, ask for one sentence that names the harm and the clock. If it fits, you can bend the rules. You can say, I am pausing other work and will help now. Please send the basics as we go. If it does not fit, you can say, I will follow the normal path. Send the request note and I will schedule a slot. Having this test keeps fairness. It protects you from every ping wearing the badge of urgent. You can add structure to your week by setting a few short windows for quick questions. Some people call them office hours, which simply means open time slots where anyone can bring a prepared topic. You can set 2 windows of 15 minutes each on 2 days. You can state that the same rules apply. Bring a one-line aim and a clear ask. These windows reduce random interruptions. People know when to bring small items. You protect the rest of your day for deep work. Rules need consistent enforcement. Consistent does not mean rigid in a blind way. It means you do not negotiate them in the moment under heat. If a meeting starts without an agenda, you ask for the aim and the decisions. If they are not clear, you end early and ask for a new invite with the basics. If a request arrives without the needed inputs, you ask for them and hold the work until they arrive. This feels awkward the first few times. It becomes normal as people learn that you will not bend for noise. Fair rules applied evenly build trust. Language matters. Avoid phrases that shame. Avoid labels such as lazy or unprepared. Use neutral words that describe conditions. You can write, "I need the cost data and the decision owner to proceed." You can say, "We are at time. Let us schedule a short follow-up with a clear aim." This keeps heat low. It also keeps your rules from turning into personal fights. The goal is not to win. The goal is to make work smoother. Tools can help, but are not the point. A simple calendar with clear titles does half the work. Use subjects that state the aim and the decision. Use notes in the invite that link the needed material. Use reminders for hard stops. If your team has a shared board, add a column for ready requests where the inputs are complete. Move items there only when they meet the standard. These small touches turn your rules into visible shapes that others can see and follow. Across teams, you can offer a one-page guide that explains how to reach you. Keep it plain. One paragraph on agendas, one paragraph on ready work, one paragraph on time caps, one paragraph on how to raise real urgency. Share it when you start a project. Share it with new partners. People like clear paths. They want to know how to work with you. Give them the path in writing so they do not have to guess. Work across time zones benefits from strong entry rules. When people cannot meet live easily, a clear agenda and complete inputs prevent long delays. A short note with the aim, the decision, the owner, and the data lets someone in another location act while you sleep. Hard stops protect their day as much as yours. Written paths keep the work moving without forcing anyone to stay up late just to hear a vague update. Culture differs across groups. Some rooms reward long live debate. Some rooms value quiet preparation. Your rules should respect the setting while still protecting quality. If you know that leaving a room would be misread, use softer forms such as a brief break and a written summary after. If you know that formal notes make people uneasy, keep them short and friendly while still carrying the needed facts and dates. The core stays the same. You set a clear entry. You keep heat low. You end on time. You follow up with records. A clear rule for who can add people to a meeting helps. You can say that the organizer confirms the invite list and that new names need a reason tied to the aim. This keeps rooms small and decision-focused. It also reduces performance pressure that grows with audience size, which we covered earlier. With fewer eyes, minds move more freely. Updates are easier. Results come faster. Tie your rules to outcomes so they do not feel abstract. When a meeting with a clear agenda ends with a decision on time, point to that in a short thank you note. When a request with complete inputs moves fast, name that in your reply. These small acknowledgments show what you reward. Over time, people repeat what gets named. You do not need to preach. You just need to notice and thank. There will be times when someone tries to use your rules against you. For example, by flooding you with long agendas that hide the real aim, or by declaring everything urgent. Respond with clarity. Ask for the one-line aim at the top. Ask for the single decision needed. Ask for the one sentence that defines the harm and the clock for urgency. When you bring things back to the basics, games have less room to play. You are not suspicious. You are precise. Rules also protect juniors and quieter voices. When entry standards are known, everyone can prepare in the same way. People who are not loud get a fair path to contribute through written inputs tied to the agenda. When hard stops are respected, meetings do not stretch into time that only some can spare. Fair process builds trust across levels. It keeps work focused on the task rather than on who can push the longest. Set a practice for debriefing your rules with yourself. Once a month, look at where the rules worked and where they did not. Adjust a phrase. Shift a time cap. Refine your ready work definition. Keep changes small and clear. Announce them in a plain note. The point is not to create a thick manual. The point is to keep the door simple and strong. Access rules and calm exits form a loop that supports your day. Strong entry standards mean fewer exits are needed. When an entry is missed and heat rises, a clean exit resets the process. Your return carries the same standards in writing. Over time, this rhythm becomes normal. People show up with aims, facts, and decisions. Meetings end on time. Work moves in steady steps. As these standards settle in, it becomes easier to define the terms for coming back into a hard talk. You can say, "We will resume once the decision list is ready and the cost data is in hand." You can name who will join as a witness and how long you will meet. You can set a follow-up plan before you enter the room. When the terms are broken, you end early and reset. The door is open and it has a frame that everyone can see. When you pause a hard talk, do you know the exact terms that must be in place before you return? You learned how to exit cleanly and how to set simple access rules that prevent many loops. The next move is to define what must be true for re-entry. Clear re-entry terms make the return short, safe, and useful. They lower heat without lowering standards. They show that your pause was not a retreat. It was a step in a steady process that aims at decisions and follow-through. When others know the terms, they can prepare. When the terms are met, the talk works. When the terms are broken, you end early and reset. Over time, people learn that the door is open and the process is clear. Re-entry works best when the goal is named before you step back in. You can do this in 1 or 2 short sentences. You can say, "We can resume once we have a list of decisions to make, the cost data, and the owner for each decision." You can add, "We will meet for 30 minutes with a hard stop, and we will end with owners and dates." If the last round was tense, you can ask for one more condition that improves safety and accuracy. You can say, "I would like a second person present as a witness to keep the process steady." These are not demands. They are standards that protect the talk. They make it easier for everyone to focus on the work. A witness is a person who joins to observe and to help keep the process clean. This can be a peer, a manager, a partner from another function, or someone both sides trust. The witness does not need to take sides. The witness does not need to speak often. Their presence helps people stay on track and on tone. You can ask for this with simple words. You can write, "To keep this fair, I propose that Jordan join us." Jordan can help confirm what we agree and what remains open. If someone objects, keep the tone calm. You can say, "The aim is a clean process and a clear record." Another set of eyes helps that. A time cap is part of the re-entry frame. It prevents drift and protects energy. You can set a default of 30 minutes. For complex topics, 60 minutes can be allowed if the agenda shows why. Name the end time in the invite and in your first sentence when you meet. You can say, "We end at 11:30 a.m. with a hard stop." Set a quiet timer if it helps. End on time even if the talk is mid-sentence. If more is needed, set a short follow-up with a fresh aim. Ending on time builds trust. It shows that standards are real. A follow-up plan holds the progress you make. State how you will record decisions, who will send the summary, and by when. A simple line is enough. You can say, "I will send a summary with decisions, owners, and dates within 1 hour." Or you can say, "Maya will send the recap by 3 p.m. The summary should be short and plain. It should list what was decided, what is still open, who owns each task, and the deadlines. It does not need color or commentary. It needs clarity. This record protects everyone from misquotes and from missing tasks. When you schedule the re-entry, put the terms inside the invite. Keep them short. You can write, aim, decide between 2 options: inputs, cost data, and risk notes attached. Owner, Sam. Time cap 30 minutes. Witness, Jordan. Follow up, summary within 1 hour. This is not a long memo. It is a few lines that tell people what to bring and what to expect. It removes surprise. It sets the tone. It signals that the return is for work, not for another loop. If the other side asks to meet without the terms, hold the line without heat. You can say, "I want this to go well. I will join once we have the decisions list and the cost data, and once we have set a hard stop. If they say it is urgent, ask for one sentence that names the harm and the clock. If the harm is real and the clock is tight, you can bend. You can say, I will join for 10 minutes to triage and then we will apply the full terms. If the harm is not real, keep the standard. Calm rules protect more than speed under vague pressure. Enforcement matters. If the meeting begins and the terms are not met, end early with a short reason and a reset. You can say, we do not have the cost data. I am ending here and will reconvene tomorrow at 10 a.m. once it is ready. Then leave. Do not argue. Do not lecture. Send a short note that repeats the terms and the new time. If the meeting begins and the tone turns sharp or personal, end early and reset. You can say, this is turning heated. I am ending now. I will send options in writing by 4 p.m. and propose a new time with a witness, then follow through. Ending early is not punishment. It is maintenance of the standard that allows good work. Some settings require softer steps. In a strict hierarchy, asking for a witness may need care. You can frame it as a process helper. You can say, to keep notes accurate, I would like Priya to join and capture decisions. In a client setting, you can ask to include an account partner who will own follow-through. In family settings, a witness can be a trusted relative or a counselor. The word mediator may come up. A mediator is a trained third party who helps two sides talk in a structured way. If you use one, explain the role in plain words and agree on the scope before you begin. Re-entry also needs a small script for the opening minute. Begin by naming the aim, the decisions, the owner, and the time cap. Name the inputs you have. Name any missing inputs and how you will get them. If a witness is present, state their role, then move to the work. If someone tries to pull you back to past lines, keep your tone even. You can say, we are here to decide between these options. Past points are noted. We are moving forward. If they persist, end early and reset. Consistency teaches faster than debate. Now to the part that proves progress. Keep a simple conflict log. This is a small record you update after hard exchanges. It does not need fancy tools. A page in a notebook or a simple document works. Each entry can carry the date, the setting, the topic, the length, the people present, the re-entry terms you set, whether the terms were met, the decisions made, the tasks assigned, the deadlines, and whether follow-through happened on time. You can add a short note on tone, such as calm, tense, or off-track. Keep the words neutral. This is not a diary of blame. It is a work log that helps you see patterns. An example entry might read like this in simple words. Date, Monday, the 5th of June. Setting, video call. Topic, choose vendor for analytics. Length, 25 minutes. People, Sam, Alex, Jordan as witness. Terms, decisions list, cost data, time cap, follow-up plan. Terms met, yes. Decisions, choose vendor A. Tasks, Alex to draft contract by Thursday 5 p.m., Sam to inform vendor B by Wednesday noon. Follow through, both done on time. Tone, steady. Another entry might show a different picture. Date, Friday the 9th of June, setting in person. Topic, scope for sprint 2, length 10 minutes. People, same. Terms, agenda, owner, time cap. Terms met, no. Ended early. Follow-up, reset for Monday 10 a.m. with agenda. Tone, heated at minute 8. After 4 weeks, read the log. You will see trends that are hard to notice in the flow of daily work. You may see that certain terms make the biggest difference, such as having the decisions list at the start. You may see that certain people adapt quickly and bring better inputs. You may see that some settings, like late Friday, are not good for hard talks. You may see that the presence of a witness reduces drift. Use these facts to adjust your plan. Give more live time to those who meet terms and produce outcomes. Reduce live time with those who do not. Shift more with them to writing. Bring a second person when needed. Move some topics to mornings. These are small changes guided by evidence, not by mood. Share progress with a light touch. You do not need to publish the log. It can stay private. When you see a clear win, name it in a short note. You can write, the last 4 vendor decisions met the new standards and were made within 30 minutes. Thank you for coming prepared. When you see a clear problem, address it directly with the person involved, not with the whole room. Use the log to be accurate. You can say, we have ended early 3 times because the data was missing. Let us set a checklist to fix that. This keeps the tone neutral and makes the fix practical. Some people may worry that a log is a trap. Be clear about your intent. The log exists to improve process and to protect time, not to punish. It also protects you if someone claims you are avoiding work. Your log shows dates, times, terms set, and follow-through. It shows that you engaged and that you kept standards. If you ever need to explain your choices to a manager, the log gives you a clean record. Silence can be misread during a pause or while you wait for terms to be met. Prevent that with one sentence that names your intent and your timing. You can write, I am not ignoring you. I am pausing to avoid a fight and will respond by tomorrow at 10 a.m. You can adjust the time to fit the case. You can say, I will reply by end of day or by Monday morning. Include this line when you step away and when you need a few more hours for a better reply. Save the message. It is part of your record. It keeps trust while you protect your own judgment. In digital spaces, the same re-entry rules apply. If a thread gets hot, set terms for the next round in writing. You can post, I am pausing here. I will post a summary with 2 options and a request for a choice by 3 p.m. Please hold replies until then. If people keep posting, do not join the loop. Deliver the summary at the time you named. If someone misreads your pause as a dodge, use the 1-sentence clarity line. If the platform allows, turn off replies until your summary is up. The aim is a clean next step, not a public win. When you return to a live talk after a hot thread, bring the thread into the room with a short recap and a set of ground rules. You can say, here is the summary of the thread. The decision we need is X. We will speak one at a time, stay on the decision, and end at 11 a.m. We will record owners and dates before we end. Then begin. If someone tries to relive the thread message by message, hold the line. You can say, the record is in the summary. We are here to decide. If they cannot accept that, end early and reset with stronger terms or a different channel. Re-entry in family life can be simple and kind. After a pause, you can suggest a short check with clear terms. You can say, let us talk after dinner for 15 minutes. Let us list 3 decisions we need to make and choose them. I will write down what we decide and send a photo of the list. If voices rise, we stop and finish tomorrow afternoon. This keeps love and respect while still using structure. It shows that care and clarity can live together. There is a boundary you must hold. Do not use re-entry terms to avoid hard truths. Do not pile on conditions so that talks never happen. Do not insist on a witness when the matter is private and safe. Use judgment. The aim is to make talks productive, not to build a wall. If stakes are high and no shared ground exists, move to a higher path such as a manager or a formal process. If danger is possible, seek help, not debate. You can make re-entry smoother by preparing a small pack of phrases and templates you reuse. Keep a few opening lines for invites, a few closing lines for summaries, and a few clarity lines for pauses. Practice them so they come out clean. The more familiar your language, the easier it is for others to accept and to mirror. This builds a culture where structure feels normal and safe. As your re-entry practice settles, you may notice that fewer talks need a full meeting. Clear terms plus clean summaries often let people decide in writing. When a meeting is still needed, it is short and focused. Decisions hold up. Follow-through rises. The log shows fewer early endings and more on-time finishes. Stress drops because there are fewer surprises and fewer public fights. The wins are quiet but real. They show up on the calendar and in the work produced. The last piece is to adjust your re-entry style to the setting you are in. A strict hierarchy may call for softer words and formal notes. A startup with fast pace may call for tighter time caps and shorter summaries. A global team may need re-entry terms that fit different time zones. Public threads may need stronger clarity lines and firm limits on replies. The core stays the same. You set terms, you enforce them kindly, you record results, and you allocate time based on evidence. The details shift with context and with the tools you use. Do you change your pause depending on where you are? You now have a clean exit, a steady return, and clear entry rules. These moves work in many places, but settings differ. A pause that works well in a small team might land poorly in a strict hierarchy. A quick break that helps in an office might feel odd in a family kitchen. A written pause that calms a meeting might not calm a comment thread that hundreds can see. Adapting the same core method to each context keeps the benefits while reducing risk. The aim stays the same. You protect judgment, you protect time, you protect relationships, you tie your attention to simple standards. You do this with words and steps that fit the room you are in. In a strict hierarchy, leaving a room can look defiant. The goal is to pause without triggering that red. Softer moves help. Ask for a brief break and tie it to a task. You can say, I need 10 minutes to verify the cost and will return at 2 p.m. with a short summary. You can propose a reconvene with a clear agenda. You can say, let us meet at 3:30 p.m. with a one-line aim and a list of decisions. I will send a draft agenda by 2:30 p.m. You can move the talk to writing without leaving your seat. You can say, I will capture options in a note and share them by the end of day. These lines keep respect. They keep pace. They show that your pause serves the work, not your pride. Client settings deserve special care. Many clients are sensitive to tone and speed. A calm exit can still work if you link it to service. You can say, I want to give you a solid answer. I will check the latest data and send 2 options by 4 p.m. If the room is tense, invite a partner who owns follow-through. You can say, to keep this tight, I will include Alex on the next call to confirm next steps. You are not hiding. You are shaping the path so that the next contact is clear and productive. You are also protecting the relationship by avoiding a fight that can damage trust. Teams across cultures and time zones add another layer. Language differences make fast talk harder. Time differences make live talk costly. A calm exit that moves to a short written note is helpful here. Keep words plain. Define any terms that could confuse. If you say scope, add that it means what is included and what is not. If you say baseline, add that it means the current known numbers before changes. Name times with zones such as 9 a.m., Lisbon time, so no one needs to guess. When you ask for a reconvene, choose a time that shares the burden across days. These small details prevent friction that comes from simple logistics rather than from the topic itself. Family life asks for clarity plus care. The same human limits apply. When heat rises, minds narrow. A short, kind pause protects everyone. Use gentle words and a clear return. You can say, I am getting tense and do not want to say something I will regret. I will step out for 20 minutes and we can talk after dinner for 15 minutes. I will write down what we decide. If a child is present, explain the pause in one sentence that is calm and honest. You can say, we are taking a short break so we can speak well. We will finish after we calm down. Then keep your promise. A small record on paper or in a message helps memory and reduces repeat talks. Safety comes first in any context. If danger is possible, do not debate. Leave and seek help. In a workplace, that can mean a manager, a human resources partner, or a security lead. In a home, that can mean a trusted friend, a family member, or a hotline. If you need emergency services, call them. A calm exit is a tool for timing and clarity. It is not a tool for situations where harm is present. In those cases, protect yourself and others. Use formal paths. Record facts when safe to do so. Return to structure only when the setting is safe. Digital spaces reward friction with attention. Threads pull you into loops that serve the platform, not your aims. The same pause works here with a few additions. Post one calm line that names the pause, the next step, and the time. You can write, I am pausing this thread and will post a summary with sources and 2 options by 3 p.m. Please hold replies until then. Then mute the thread. Muting stops alerts. It protects your pause. If people keep posting, do not return early. Deliver the summary at the time you set. If someone misreads your silence as indifference, use one clarifying sentence. You can write, "I am not ignoring you. I am pausing to avoid a fight and will respond by tomorrow morning." This shows good faith while you hold the boundary. Blocking is also a valid exit online. Blocking means you stop a person from contacting you. Use it when someone crosses lines you set, such as personal attacks or harassment. You can also set a daily cap on replies. A daily cap is a limit you define for how long you will spend replying. You can say to yourself, "I will reply to messages between 2 and 3 p.m. Then I will stop for the day." Many people who do this report that screen time drops by 1 to 2 hours. Those hours move to rest, study, or deep work. Stress drops because inputs drop. Focus returns because distractions shrink. You can route digital requests into a form that gathers key facts. This makes sense when you receive many messages that ask for the same kind of help. A small form can ask for the aim, the decision needed, the deadline, and the current facts. You can share the link in your profile. You can reply with the link when a vague request arrives. You can write, "Please use this short form so I can help you faster." This is not cold. It is a path that saves time for both sides. It reduces back and forth that would happen anyway. It also trains people to send clear asks. Set small windows for replies to protect your day. If you reply all day, you will be pulled into fresh loops at random times. If you reply in 1 or 2 blocks, you reduce context switching. You can say in your profile, "I respond to messages at 11 a.m. and at 4 p.m. Please expect a reply then." This line sets expectations. It lowers anxiety for others because they know when they will hear from you. It lowers anxiety for you because you know when you will reply. It frees the rest of the day for work that needs depth. When a digital thread concerns a high-stakes matter, bring it into a more controlled channel. You can propose a short call with a tight frame. You can say, "This topic needs care. Let us meet for 20 minutes at 9 a.m. with a clear decision to make. I will send a short brief in advance." If a call is not possible across time zones, use a shared document with comments and a deadline for decisions. Keep the record. Keep owners and dates visible. The same structure that calms a room calms a thread. Triage helps you decide whether to pause, to engage, or to escalate. Use 3 simple questions. Ask how high the stakes are. Stakes mean the real impact on safety, money, time, or trust. Ask whether there is shared ground. Shared ground means facts or aims you both accept. Ask whether your voice is likely to change the outcome today. If stakes are low, leave and invest your time elsewhere. If stakes are high and there is shared ground, set a structured talk with a clear aim and a time cap. If stakes are high and shared ground does not exist, move the matter to a higher channel. A higher channel can be a manager who can decide, a mediator who can guide a process, or a formal path such as a complaint process. A mediator is a trained person who helps 2 sides speak in a structured way. They are neutral. They do not decide. They help you decide. Escalation is not a threat. It is a way to match the weight of a decision to the right level of authority. Use it when your tools are not enough. Before you escalate, write a short, neutral summary of facts. Include dates, times, people present, what was said, what terms were set, and what was done. Keep words plain. Avoid adjectives that judge. Attach any written records. This helps the person you escalate to act quickly. It also protects you from claims that you acted on impulse. Adaptation also means adjusting your script to the people you work with. Some partners are nervous about witnesses. Frame the witness as a process helper. You can say, "Jordan will join to take notes so we can focus on the decision." Some partners are worried about time caps. Frame the cap as respect. You can say, "We will end at 11 a.m. so you can make your noon deadline." Some partners prefer voice notes to text. Send a short voice message with clear points and a summary in writing. The core stays the same. You set terms that protect the talk. You speak in plain words. You follow through on time. Be careful not to use adaptation as an excuse to dodge duty. A pause is not a way to avoid feedback. A witness is not a way to scare someone. A time cap is not a way to rush a decision that needs data. Keep your purpose in view. Your purpose is better decisions, cleaner records, calmer days, and fair process. If a rule you set is blocking those aims, change the rule. If a pause pattern is hurting trust, adjust your words. Small corrections keep the method honest. In fast rooms where speed is prized, you can still use this method. Keep your pauses short and your returns very tight. Say, I will come back in 10 minutes with numbers. Then do it. Use time caps that fit the room, such as 15 minutes. Use written summaries that fit on one screen. Use clear subjects, such as decision needed by 5 p.m. Choose witnesses who are accepted by the room. The faster the room, the simpler your lines must be. In slow rooms where care is prized, keep your returns more detailed, but put the decision need at the top so no one loses the thread. Public platforms require extra care with tone. Do not call out people by name unless needed. Do not use sarcasm. Do not label groups. If a debate turns into insults, exit and use formal reporting tools. Do not feed a thread that is only there to provoke. Your time is a resource. Spend it where it produces outcomes. If you must correct a public mistake, do it with sources and with one calm paragraph. Then stop. If replies try to drag you back, stick to your cap and leave. Adaptation becomes easier when you prepare a small set of scripts for each context. Keep a few lines for hierarchy, a few for clients, a few for family, a few for digital threads. Practice them until they feel natural. When the moment comes, you will not need to invent words under stress. You will use a line you trust. Your body will support you because it knows the path. Your follow-through will be steady because you set times you can meet. Track the effects of your adapted exits. In digital spaces, watch your screen time and your number of replies per day. In meetings, watch lengths and the number of decisions per hour. In family life, watch whether talks finish in the time you set and whether decisions hold. After 4 weeks, you will see patterns. You will see where a softer pause works and where a firmer one is needed. You will see which scripts reduce heat and which need a tweak. Use this feedback to refine your lines, your time caps, and your re-entry terms. Clarity lines prevent misread intent across all contexts. When you step away, send a short note that names your purpose and your timing. You can say, I am pausing to avoid a fight and will respond by tomorrow at 10 a.m. Save the note. If someone questions your pause later, you can point to it. If a manager asks why you left a room, you can show that you set a return and delivered on it. Clarity plus follow-through builds trust even in strict settings. As you adapt, you will notice fewer loops and more steady work. Digital distractions will drop because you engage less with threads that do not serve your aims. Live meetings will shorten because entry rules are met and exits are clean. Family talks will feel safer because pauses are gentle and returns are clear. Your calendar will show the change. Your body will feel the difference at the end of the day. You did not change other people's nature. You changed how and when you engage. All of this leads to a simple path you can run for a month. Pick 2 contexts that often turn hot. Choose your scripts for pauses, returns, and re-entry terms. Set small measures you will watch, such as minutes saved, decisions made, and stress at day's end. Keep a brief log. Adjust as you go. Keep only what you can see and feel working. Quiet exits, clear standards, and kind enforcement will become a normal part of your day. Your attention will move to work that creates value and lasts. Are you ready to turn calm exits into a daily habit you can measure for a full month? You have learned how to pause without drama, move heat into writing, set entry rules, and return with clear terms. You have adjusted the move to fit hierarchies, clients, family life, and digital threads. Now the task is to build a simple practice that you can run, track, and refine. A practice makes your choices steady when stress rises. It turns good ideas into actions that show up on your calendar and in your results. The plan is not complex. It is a 30-day test you can start this week. It will give you proof of time saved, fewer loops, and cleaner decisions. It will also show where to adjust your lines and your rules so they fit your world. Begin with a clear aim for the month. Say to yourself in plain words what you want to see at the end. You might say that you want fewer heated loops, more decisions made with clear owners and dates, and less fatigue at the end of the day. You might add that you want more work moved to writing and fewer long meetings. Keep the aim short. You will use it to guide small choices day by day. Choose 2 places where clashes tend to happen. Pick 2 people or 2 contexts that create most of your stress. It could be a weekly staff meeting that always drifts, a project chat that often flares, a client call that runs long, or a family talk that repeats at the same time each week. Name them in a note to yourself so you are clear about your target. You do not need to announce this choice. You only need to commit to using your calm exit, your written return, and your entry rules in these spots for the full month. Prepare your scripts before you start. Write the 1 sentence you will use to pause. Write the line you will use to explain that you are moving the topic to writing and when you will return. Write the line you will use to set re-entry terms such as a time cap, a decisions list, and a follow-up plan. Keep these lines short and plain. Practice them out loud until they are easy to say. If your work crosses languages, prepare them in the language you will use. If you work in a strict hierarchy, include a softer version that asks for a brief break or proposes a written summary by a set time. If you work with clients, include a version that ties the pause to service, such as sending options with clear costs by a set hour. Decide your preferred channel for follow-up. For many cases, a short email or a brief document works best. For chat-heavy teams, a pinned message that links to a clear note helps. For family life, a short message or a page on paper that lists decisions and dates is enough. You are choosing the place where your plan will appear after each pause. Your choice should support clarity, allow attachments if data is needed, and keep a record with dates and owners. Set simple measures you will track. You do not need complex tools. Use a small log that fits on 1 page for each week. Each time you use a pause, record the day, the setting, the topic, the length of the live exchange before you paused, the length of the follow-up talk if there was one, whether re-entry terms were met, the decision made if any, the tasks assigned, and the dates. Add a short note on tone such as calm or tense. If you want to track your stress, use a simple scale from 0 to 10, where 0 means calm and 10 means flooded. Write the number that fits how you felt at the end of the exchange. This is not for judgment, it is for pattern finding. Set a baseline before you start the full run. For the first few days, do not change anything. Just track how often heat appears, how long it lasts, how many people are involved, and how often decisions actually get made with owners and dates. This gives you a fair picture of current cost. It also helps you see the effect of your practice later. When you look back, you will not rely on memory. You will have simple notes with dates and times. On the first day of the test, use your pause script the first time heat rises in your chosen contexts. Say your 1 sentence. Name the time you will return. Leave with a steady body and a neutral face. Protect the pause. Write your follow-up in the channel you chose. Keep it short and plain. Put the decision need at the top. List the options or the key facts in short paragraphs, name owners, and give dates. Close with the next step. If a brief live check is still needed, schedule a short slot with a hard stop and send a simple agenda that states the aim and the decisions to make. Keep your promises. If you say you will send options by 3 p.m., send them by 3 p.m. If you need more time, send a short update before the time arrives. Say what you need and set a new time you can meet. Do not vanish. Follow through is what turns a pause from a withdrawal into a reliable method. It teaches others that your calm exits lead to action, It teaches your own body that a pause is safe and purposeful. As the days pass, keep using your lines. Keep logging the basics. You will start to notice small wins. A meeting that used to spin now ends with a decision in half the time. A thread that used to stretch for days now resolves after one clear summary. A person who used to push for instant answers now accepts a short delay when you set a time and deliver. You will also notice friction. Someone will try to pull you back into live heat before the time you set. Someone will send a vague agenda without owners. Someone will write a long note that hides the ask. Use your rules with a steady hand. Repeat your line. Ask for the missing pieces. Hold the frame. You are not scolding. You are maintaining the path that serves the work. At the end of each week, take a quiet 15 minutes to review your log. Add up the minutes of live heat you avoided by pausing early. Add up the minutes of focused follow-up that produced decisions. The difference is your time saved. Note how many decisions were made with clear owners and dates. Note how many meetings ended on time. Note your average stress score. You do not need perfection. You want to see movement in the right direction. If you see little change, adjust. Shorten your pause line. Make your written returns even shorter and clearer. Tighten your time caps. Shift more to writing if live talk keeps failing. Bring a second person to witness if tone keeps slipping. In the second week, add a small access rule if you have not already. Require a one-line aim and a list of decisions before you accept a meeting. Decline surprise topics and set a time for them with a request for a brief note in advance. Route vague requests through a short request note that asks for purpose, decision need, deadline, and current facts. Apply these rules kindly and steadily. Your exits will become less frequent because fewer bad entries will reach your lifetime. In the third week, share your practice with one partner who is open to it. Explain in simple words what you are doing and why. Offer your pause line, your written summary shape, and your entry rules. Ask them to try it with you on one topic. When it works, thank them. When it stumbles, adjust together. The aim is not to evangelize. The aim is to create one more person who can help hold the frame. Two people who keep the standard can steady a whole room. In the fourth week, create a small summary page for yourself. A summary page is a single page that shows key totals for the month. Write the number of pauses you used, the number of decisions made with owners and dates, the total hours saved compared to your baseline, the rate at which meetings ended on time, and your average stress score. Add 1 or 2 lines on what worked best and what needs change. Keep the words plain. This page is your simple dashboard. A dashboard here means a quick view that shows the essentials at a glance. It helps you explain the value of the practice to yourself and to anyone who asks. At the end of the month, make decisions based on your notes, not on memory. Keep the parts that created visible gains. Drop or change the parts that did not help. If a script did not land well, rewrite it. If a time cap was too tight for your context, adjust it. If a written summary shape felt heavy, shorten it. If a rule saved time, make it a default. If a witness reduced drift, invite a witness for the next few high-stakes talks. Treat your practice as a small system that you tune toward results. If you lead a team, turn your personal practice into a one-page team policy. Keep it short enough that people will read it. Open with a plain sentence that states the aim of the policy, which is to protect time and raise quality through simple rules. Add a short paragraph that defines entry standards, a one-line aim, a list of decisions, a decision owner, and links to key facts. Add a paragraph that states exit and return scripts in neutral words and includes the promise to follow up at a set time. Add a paragraph that defines re-entry terms such as time caps, witnesses when needed, and follow-up summaries. Add a paragraph that defines what urgent means in your context and how to raise it. Share the page with your team. Share it with partners. Place it where people can find it. Refer to it gently in invites and in notes. This page is a map for how to work with you. Add simple templates that people can copy. A template is a small pattern you reuse. Create a meeting invite shape that starts with the aim and the decisions. Create a written summary shape that opens with the decision need and closes with owners and dates. Create a request note shape that asks for purpose, decision, deadline, facts, and owner. Share these as text people can paste. The easier you make it to follow the rules, the faster the rules become normal. Build this practice into how you welcome new teammates. When someone joins, give them the one-page policy and the templates. Explain the reason in simple words. Invite their feedback after a few weeks. This is often called onboarding, which just means how you bring a new person into your way of working. When new people start with clear standards, they settle faster. They also help hold the frame because they never learned the old, loose way. Set a monthly review for yourself or for the team. Pick a calm day and reserve 30 minutes. Look at the log. Look at the summary page. Ask what saved the most hours and what reduced heat the most. Ask what moved the most decisions to done. Adjust 1 or 2 items. Do not change everything. Small, steady changes stick. Large overhauls break habits. Note the change and test it for another month. Keep ethics at the center. Do not use exits to dodge duty. Do not invoke rules to punish someone or to win a status game. Do not hide behind process when harm is present. Keep a clear path for real urgency. Define it plainly and revisit the definition as you learn. Keep an escalation route for serious issues. Escalation means moving a matter to a level with the authority and skill to act, such as a manager, a mediator, or a formal process. A mediator is a trained person who helps two sides talk in a structured way. Use escalation when your tools are not enough, when risk is high, or when there is no shared ground. Use it early rather than late. Document facts in calm language. Add 1 new experiment each quarter. A quarter is 3 months. An experiment is a small change you test on purpose. You might test a shorter default meeting length. You might test a stricter intake rule for requests. You might test a daily cap on digital replies. You might test adding a second person to key talks. Define how you will measure the effect. Run the test for the full period. Keep what works, drop what does not. This keeps your practice alive and honest. Your world shifts. Your rules should keep pace. Support your practice with the right tools, but let tools follow the method rather than lead it. A scheduling link can make it easy to book short slots with time caps. A shared checklist can keep re-entry terms visible for a project. A simple document can host your log and your summary page. Choose tools that are easy to use and that keep records with dates. Avoid tools that push you into more threads and more alerts than you want. Your attention is the resource to protect. Teach by showing. When you use a calm exit, people feel the difference. When you send a clear written summary, people see the standard. When you end on time and still deliver outcomes, people experience the gain. When you thank someone for sending a good agenda, people learn what you reward. Culture shifts through acts others can copy. Keep your words plain. Keep your tone calm. Keep your promises. People will follow what works. If you work with a manager, share your summary page at the end of the month. Explain your aim, your method, and your results in a few sentences. Show the hours saved and the decisions made. Ask for support on 1 or 2 rules that would help the whole team, such as agenda requirements or time caps. When leaders see calendar results, they tend to support the habits that created them. They may also help you scale the practice by naming the rules in wider settings. Do not forget family life while you do this. The same 30-day plan works at home. Choose 2 contexts that often turn tense. Use your gentle pause line. Set short returns with clear decisions to make. Write down what you agree and put dates next to tasks. Keep a tiny log. Notice which times of day are better or worse. Adjust the time caps. Invite a trusted relative to sit in if needed. Protect safety first. Keep kindness in your tone even when you hold the line. The gains at home matter as much as the gains at work. Expect some awkward moments in the first week. A pause may feel new in your mouth. A partner may test your line. A manager may ask why you are leaving for a short break. Stay calm. Use your clarity line to explain your intent in one sentence, such as saying you are pausing to avoid a fight and will respond by a set time. Then deliver. Confidence grows when you do what you said you would do. Doubt fades when results appear on the calendar. By the end of the month, your log will show patterns that were hard to see before. You will know which scripts are your best tools. You will know which rules save the most hours. You will know which settings need a witness. You will know which people adapt quickly and which need more structure. You will have a record that protects you and guides you. You will have a simple page that shows your gains. You will also have a choice. You can keep the practice and refine it, or you can let it slide and return to loops. The numbers, the calmer days, and the cleaner outcomes will make the choice easy. Quiet exits used with care are not about avoiding hard issues. They are about handling hard issues in a way that respects how bodies and groups work. They are about turning heat into steps that lead to decisions and to real work. They are about tying your attention to clear standards so others know how to reach you. With a 30-day plan, templates, small reviews, and steady ethics, this stops being a set of tips and becomes your default. Your days will hold fewer loops, more clear choices, and more time for work that compounds. The proof will be on your calendar, in your records, and in the steadiness you feel when pressure rises.